All right, so Matt, tell us, like I said, origin story. How'd you get into the racing things? Your family always been a part of racing. Break it down for us.
All right, so my family's racing history goes back to probably the late 1980s. My dad picked up racing at Waterford Speedbowl in the strictly stock division. He was the Banana Boat Yellow, number 59, sky blue numbers. The worst looking car you've ever seen. Sorry,
I'd have
Dad.
to go look that up.
Yeah, right.
We have I'll send you a picture.
He was in
of
the
it.
street stocks?
In the Strictly's.
Strictly's when they first started?
Yep, when there was like 100 and however many cars showing up.
I love them back then, dude.
How
old were you then?
I wasn't even born yet.
Oh, you weren't born yet?
No. How old do you think I am?
I don't know. How old are you?
No, you guess.
I don't know. I was 32.
30, close.
All right.
No, so he started racing at the Waterford Speedbowl, and then he moved over to the Strictly Stocks at Riverside Park. He was the old Kerry Coon, one of the Ford Granadas he bought. This is black with, I think, like pinkish numbers. He raced that for a while. He made the feature quite a bit, but he never really had any success there. So then he was like, hey, let's go modified racing. As one does. Right. So then he jumped in a Pro 4 modified, kind of toured all over the Northeast in it. And from there, he was like, why am I driving to, rural Maine on a Saturday night when I have 4 kids at home? So he was like, let's go to Stafford. So he bought a limited late model right when the division first started. Up until a couple of years ago, actually, we still had that original engine. The original 602 crate was in the car from Stafford Speedway. And then about 11 years ago now, he decided to hang it up because he became a grandfather, and I had been helping him out at Stafford since I was probably like 12 or 13. So he was like, hey, you want to give it a shot? And I had never raced anything other than like go-karts, down by the ice cream shack. And so I was like, yeah, sure. And I piled it into the fence more times than I can count, busted radiators, flat tires, smacked the concrete a bunch of times, and here we are.
So how old were you when you jumped behind the wheel?
I was probably like 18 or 19.
Oh, okay.
First time. Yeah, maybe a little bit older, but yeah, no, I had no experience.
In today's world, that's really old.
No, I was a geezer.
Yeah.
An absolute geezer. You got Paulie Hartwig winning modified races in the 8th grade. No, I was still picking my nose.
Yeah, right.
You got 3 siblings?
Yep.
Who's the oldest?
Kate, my sister's the oldest, and then it's Scott, and then me, and then Jay's the youngest.
Does Jay race?
Yeah, he runs the white 95 car occasionally at Stafford. He actually works for NASCAR now. He's down in North Carolina.
Oh, wow. Good for him. What's he doing down there?
He's some sort of safety engineer. Jay, forgive me for having no comprehension of what you do. No, he does something with data, the crash data, and he tries to make the cars better.
Got it.
And I think he wears a couple different hats down there, but that's mainly it.
Interesting. What do you do for a living?
I am a risk and underwriting analyst for a health insurance company.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me to explain it.
Yeah, I won't. But it's totally unrelated to automotive.
Oh yeah, no. I worked for like a carpentry shop, and then my sister was like, "Hey, why don't you put your college degree to work and put a collared shirt on and go make actual money." I was making like peanuts at the time, and kind of lucked into the job I have now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you came in at the limited late model level. So you've been racing them for about a decade.
Yeah, the last year was the 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
I thought you ran like enduros or something at the Speedbowl.
That was Jay actually.
That was Jay.
We had that Smoky Unique.
It was fast though.
Oh yeah, no,
that thing was fast as hell.
Jay is talented behind the wheel. He picks up on stuff so quickly. He's always been like one of the better athletes in the family. He had the focus for it. It was like the first or second time he went out there in it. He was running with Dave Yardley, and Dave was the fastest car by a country mile out there for a little bit. But he couldn't stop from just smashing into the car in front of him whenever he had the chance. So that was short lived.
So he had the bug for it first. Is that correct?
No, it was me. I was horrific at Stafford for like 5 or 6 years. I couldn't get out of my own way. It was embarrassing. Almost gave it up. Is
that legitimate? Like, did you get top 5s, top 10s? You started in the limited, right?
Yeah.
So you were there when the division was not as good as it is now.
No. I have a 7-win season back in 2019, but we were racing against 6 or 7 cars every week.
Right.
And the last couple years we've been averaging 16, 17 cars a week, and this year we have 27 cars registered. So but no, when I first came into the division, there was a decent amount of cars. There was probably like 14, 15 a week. At the time, that was great car count. But I was, the 15th or 14th car on the track, racing for last place.
Well, because Bonza continues to make fun of me because I said that division was weak at one point, which it was.
No, you're absolutely correct.
It was even, like, from our perspective, it was weak in 2023. Like, last year, I think, was a huge step up. And apparently it was even weaker before that.
Well, no, 2023, we had 10 different winners.
Yeah, so the last couple of years have just been really, really good, I thought. The limiteds.
Oh, really?
I'm talking like 7 to 8 years ago.
Probably like 17, 18, 19. The division was really...
You had 10 winners in 23?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember being not
9.
that... Like,
it might have been 9, but yeah.
Wasn't
because
9
Jay...
last year?
There was... No, I think
there was 11 last year.
11?
Jay, because Jay finished, I think, 8th or 9th in the standings in 23, and he was the only person in the top 10 who didn't have a win.
Yeah, but
I took his win from him right at the end of the year.
When Bonzo would tell me you would get like a handful of cars every week, I was really...
Oh, no, for sure.
He was like 5-6 cars would show up. I was like, how'd you even put a race on?
I mean, this is going to sound like I'm brown-nosing, but kudos to the Aroots for not giving up on us.
Seriously.
Like that, to have 6 cars. We did go down to 15 laps. 15-lap features with no heat races at one point. I mean,
right.
we were in our death throes.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I remember in the Speedbowl, we showed up. Remember I told you that? We showed up with a truck. There was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now, I mean, I don't know if it was that great, but over the past couple of years, that division has turned into the limiteds of Stafford. I mean, I think the limiteds at Stafford are one of the must-see events.
Oh, they definitely are.
Right? It's amazing.
Well, now you got Haidar and Root and Lafayette coming up. Like, it was already... There's so much depth of field last year, and now it's going to get exponentially crazier.
And you have the drama too with guys like Rich and Rich Hammond and Jeremy and Kevin Cormier and myself. I mean, there's a ton of fast cars out there.
Is there a lot of drama within the division? Because I mean, like when we watched racing on Flow, I only know that I watch guys like Lavoie. I know he's been great in the past, and I suspect that he's probably going to get back to his old form possibly this year, right? But and then you have a guy like Rich Hammond who just gets on the mic, and I've known Rich Hammond because he raced modifieds with me at the Speedbowl. I think he's great, but you guys race it's Waterford's kind of different than Stafford.
Oh yeah.
How much drama is there behind the scenes of that division being so many different winners and the division being so competitive?
There's not a ton of drama anymore. I mean, I have had dust-ups with Kevin Cormier, and I used to have dust-ups with Rich Hammond when he first came in, but nobody really is out there beating and banging on people other than 1 or 2 guys. I mean, last year we just got totally destroyed going down the front stretch because of somebody's lack of attention, but other than that, there's you're beating and banging with people, but at the end of the day, I respect almost everybody out there. Everybody has a very good, I don't want to call it working relationship, but you can trust the guy, that he's not going to clean you out.
Yeah.
Going into turn 1, he's going to wait, he's going to pounce, you know what I mean, when you make a mistake, or he'll give you a couple chances and then he'll boot you out of the way. It's not like when I ran at Waterford in the open street stock, the second somebody gets within arm's length of your bumper, you're out of the way.
Yeah, you're sideways. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who goes to the races with on Friday? I'm interested.
Yeah. So originally it was when my dad was running it. It was my dad, Bill Ryman, Waterford Speedbowl staple there. Shout out to Bill and myself, and then Dave Yardley came into the division for a bit. So we would all kind of help each other out there. And then as I started taking over driving duties, it was my dad, Bill Ryman, Rob Valerio, who was a short track staple there up at Riverside Park. I think he's got a championship in the trucks. He kind of took over as the crew chief. I work with the chassis setup wizard, Jay Stewart himself, for all of our setup stuff. Still, yeah.
Wow.
The professor.
He is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, when I go down there to talk to Jay, he'll ask me the same question 8 different ways just to see if he's getting the same answer, and that not only helps him know what to do, but it helps me kind of learn what to look for.
Yeah.
And then at the track, back in, I think it was 17 or 18, my older brother started coming pretty regularly. My younger brher, when he was still living up here, would come pretty regularly. My mom, so it's not a huge crew.
And your dad is still in it.
Yeah. He's still he tows one of the cars up every week. He's the first guy there usually, unloading the car. The car one of the cars is stored at his house, so he's working on them throughout the week when my brothers and I are working. So yeah.
Oh, excellent. I didn't know Jay Stewart was still in the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's the 59 was down there right at the end of last year. I got when we got into that bad wreck right at the end of the year. He straightened the rear. He put a new setup in the front end of it. I mean, and that thing was a rocket ship the last race.
Yeah. So how many wins do you have in the division?
19, I think.
19 wins?
Yeah. All since 2019.
Who has the most? Do you know?
Andrew Durand.
Andrew Durand.
He's got a lot of championships too.
Yeah,
He was
but to your earlier point, he was running in the division when there were 3 cars.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so if his not saying he's not a good driver, he's a very good driver.
Oh, yeah.
But like at the beginning, he was just, you know, racking and stacking wins because it was like him, Sean Foster, and like one other person. So.
Right.
Yeah, Duran's got 33, Lavoie's got 25, and Matt's got 19.
And how many championships does Duran have? Does it say on there?
I think 3, if I had to guess.
Yeah, because I remember editing a video about him, and I was like, "What the hell? 3 track titles?" I was like, "When did that happen?"
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, he's always on the late models."
Yeah, he's got 3. Jeremy's got 3.
Yep.
Dwayne Provost, does he have 2 or 3?
So Durand had he won a championship in 2009 and 2020. I see.
Oh,
I
that's
think
it?
I think I see only 2 here. Yeah.
How many do you have? 1. Last year was your first one.
I was in the hunt the year before.
I knew that. Yeah.
And then 2019, I missed it by, I think, like 4 points to Jeremy.
Oh, so
that.
you've been close,
A couple times, yeah.
and then you finally sealed it this year.
Yeah, and you guys had made a comment last year, Diego, yourself. You said that it looked like I was having an off season, and then Rob came in over the top and said, I don't know if he was having a bad season or everybody else was having a good season too.
Yeah.
And that, I mean,
Well, that was my whole thing on you. You're just so quiet. You quietly do whatever you do.
I got told once I'm like a light switch. My talent is either on or off.
Well, no, I don't even know. You're just so. I knew you were going to ask me about it because, I watch the division. You got guys like Cormier who run up front, but they just make a lot of noise. So when I say that, I mean like, I guess my point is like, how me and my brother race or how we did race, and we fall in that gap of Cormier and those type of people.
I've been there too. I've made mistakes behind the wheel. I damn near took out Dwayne Provost, a guy who I considered a friend. I damn near took him out the last race of 2019 trying to run for a championship, and I didn't see a problem with it until a couple of years ago when it happened to me.
Right. Yeah, because I remember saying at the Fro, like, you were having an off year because once you wrecked, you were just quiet for a while.
Mm-hmm. I never lost the championship point lead.
It's unbelievable to me. Well, you know why? Because there's so many different winners.
Mm-hmm.
Every week, somebody else is winning.
Well, that and I was in the 18 for 5 races or so
Yeah.
when the 59
car is
got
that?
wrecked a couple times. That's Scott's car. That's Kevin Gambacorda's 2-time limited late model championship car.
Really?
Oh, the blue is the blue car, right?
Yep.
The 18?
Yeah, the blue 18. Yeah. Well, since Scott has taken over, it has a fresh front clip and rear clip. But
Who's Scott? Scott.
It's kind of the
my
same
older
car.
brother. Scott,
Okay.
I only had top 5s in that car last year. That was the saving grace of the season was jumping.
But
in that
I
car.
knew you had turned it up at the end of the year again.
Yeah.
Like
I got pissed off.
Yeah, you were back again. And so it's, that's why I say, because you had the other one that causes a lot of havoc in the division is the 23.
Devin. Yeah, he's calmed down
Is that
quite
Devin?
a bit.
Is that there's
That's
Devin?
Devin and
Connor.
Connor. And
So
Ari
Devin,
and
Ari.
Devin is a heavy hitter in that division to me
Mhm.
because he's like sometimes he's like an unguided missile to me. You don't know what you're going to get from him. He may run you clean for 5 laps, and then that all goes out the window.
Yeah.
And like the next 2, and you're like, holy shit, what the hell just happened?
I think I've only really seen him run that way with Rich, and that's because
Yeah.
they have their own kind of back and forth. Rich has wrecked him a couple times. He's wrecked Rich a couple times. Those two are, 2 of the people who probably don't like each other.
Yeah.
But no, Devin with me, I had it out with him back in, I think it was 21. He had started to get fast, started to win races, and he started to run me over.
Yeah.
And I went over to his car and I pulled the steering wheel out of his car and I said, Devin, use your steering wheel to get around me. I don't run you that way. Don't run me that way. And
Right.
ever since then, we never had a problem.
Yeah. So you think you have a lot of respect from the guys in your division?
I like to think so, but you never know. I take for instance guys like Jeremy. I don't think that he doesn't. he has respect for everybody in the division, no matter if you're the guy running for last place or the guy running for the win. Like he likes to roll his car on and off the trailer, like I do. I like to think that people have that same mindset, but you'd probably have to ask them.
On any given Friday night, who is one of your toughest competitors? I mean, do you have a rivalry with anybody?
Yeah, probably Kevin Cormier. Just
Kevin Cormier.
If Bonso was here, you know, he would every time that Kevin and I are near each other on the track, Bonso told me he always points the camera directly at us because he knows something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, we race each other hard. You know, I don't think I've ever taken him out. But he's taken me out a couple times. So
do you think guys like him make you a better driver?
Yeah.
They gotta, right?
Yeah, because like you gotta know what you're walking into at that point. Like if I'm gonna pass him at this point, I'm gonna try to do it as either as clean as possible. It's so I don't, you know, get him to see red. Right. Or I will just punt him to the moon and I'll get as far away as possible because I know I have it coming back. Right. But that's the give and take. Like like if he's gonna race me like that, I'm gonna race him like that. Right. And I hope that if I race him clean, he'll come back and race me clean. But you know, we'll see. Right.
So would you say during the week when you guys get the car together, do you work on the car often during the week?
Yep.
Is it a family affair? Is it at your house or your dad's house? Does everybody get together or?
Yeah. So my dad has a 2-car garage at his house. My older brother has a 2-car garage. So we'll store 2 cars at my older brother Scott's house, and then my dad lives like 1 street over, and we'll store 1 car there. And then we'll kind of play musical chairs. Like whichever car needs the most work goes to my dad's house because that has more room. And then whichever cars just kind of need to get wiped down, nutted, bolted, you know, fluids changed, stuff like that, will stay at his house. And then when we go to do any setup stuff, we'll usually bring them back to my dad's house to scale them. And
so
whatnot.
He's heavily involved.
Oh yeah, yeah. He works. My dad works on the car more than my brother or myself.
Right,
for sure.
right.
He's retired now.
So how many cars do you have?
3. We have the 59, which we've had for probably 15 years now. The 18 we bought from Kevin Gambacorda a couple years ago, and then the 95 was Tyler Leary's Monadnock. What do they call it? Sportsman late model championship car from I think like 2019 ish.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think you're going to be doing in the future? Do you see yourself continuing to run limiteds, or do you have dreams or of things of running a mod one day, or are you just a full fendered guy?
I love the fenders. I would love to get in a modified and just see what it feels like. I don't trust myself to race a modified, especially not an SK Light. I mean, those guys are crazy. That's like when you're out there, there's 67 of them registered. That's insane. I'd rather walk into traffic than do that. Right. But like last year, actually, circling back to Kevin Cormier, I drove the late model that he drove last year. I practiced it for him.
Oh, the 00?
The 00, yeah. His car owner had asked me to take it out and kind of give my opinion of what the car was doing because Kevin was telling him it was doing one thing, but I think there was a little miscommunication between the two of them. So I took it out in practice and I pulled it in and I said, the sway bar is bound up, the power steering's got a leak, and this thing won't turn for anything. I could get on the gas as hard as I want coming off. It doesn't snap loose, but there's something bound in the front end. And after having drove that car, it gave me a lot of confidence to be like, oh yeah, I could jump in a late model and, you know, probably go have fun. But I'm in the middle of buying a house. You know, life's coming at me fast here. So would I like to get into a late model eventually? Absolutely. But, you know, it would have to probably be somebody bringing a car and I bring sponsorship and, you know, tires and fuel and all sorts of stuff.
So are all your cars metric base cars? Do you have any full tube cars? Because that's what seems the division's turning to.
Yeah. So
there's not many cars like yours.
Yeah. No. All 3 cars were originally metric cars. They all still have metric rails at least. The 59. All 3 cars have a Johnson front clip now. You know, that was something that we did to the 59 initially, and actually Jay Stewart hated it at first, and now he has turned the corner. He loves it now.
He put them all on?
We had Frank Latois put the front clip on the 95 and the 59, and then Jay Stewart wanted to take a swing with the 18, so he put it on the 18. And then the 18 has a tube rear clip after Scott backed it on the fence a couple years ago, and the 95 and the 59 both still have stock rear clip in it.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stock rails?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, those like the full. I would love to have a Johnson full tube car. Those things are works of art, but it's just not. I know BFR for a rolling chassis is getting $25,000.
That's sick money,
right? I don't have $25,000 to to sink into a car.
Yeah,
would I like to? Yeah, for sure. But I'm smarter than I look.
Listen, I look at them all the time because the one great thing about Stafford is that you can take, like, I've seen, there was a guy in New York selling one this year, a brand new Johnson car. Did you see that car?
It's literally called
Yeah.
Matt Clement.
$15,000 you could have bought that car for. Brand new.
Yeah,
body.
that was out in like Horseheads, New York, or something like that. Yeah, we tried to buy that car a number of years ago, and it was up for pretty similar money. And we just it was 6 hours away. We were kind of dancing around it. That was a beautiful car.
And I was almost going to buy it and convert it to a truck, right? And I'm looking at it, but the great part about that to Stafford, what they have done is you could build a brand new streeter. And Chris Meyer was here the other day, last couple of weeks ago, and he converted his streeter
To a late model.
right into a late model.
Yep.
Right? I mean, so the investment up front may be a little daunting if you can find a good used one, but you could race that car all the way up until open wheels.
Yeah.
At Stafford Speedway, which is fantastic.
Yep.
I guess the only difference is motors. You guys still run crates, is that correct?
Yep. We have a built 602. So you can play with it a bit more than you can on the street stocks, but yeah, we can still run
Oh, you can.
Yeah, if Stafford would give us a crate option in the late models, I think that would be something to look into. But
So if they converted late models to 602s,
yeah,
would you be interested?
Yeah, I'd like to give it a shot, see what I got with those guys. Maybe give us a weight break, maybe give us different compound on the right side, and
yeah.
They'd still have enough motor to blow us away and coming off, but I think that we'd be
I don't
able
know.
to keep up.
Those things have a lot of torque low end. So I've been real curious about that because Chris Meyer was adamant about the open and giving open. To me, I didn't agree with him, but everybody has a right to their own opinion, right? Like, I don't want to pay a motor builder $5,000-$6,000 every year. I've lived that life with the SK. When my 602, I mean the 602 that Emma and Brody won the championship with, we ran that 2 years prior. Charlie Beal's still running it and winning races. This is 6 years later.
The 602 that came out of the 59 in 2023, we finally bought up to a new one, was the original 602 crate motor in any division at Stafford Speedway.
Right.
It was original from 2008. We would get it refreshened every 2 to 3 years.
Right.
It still had more than enough
that's what
power
I'm
to win
saying.
races.
Ours, the one that's in Beal's truck, is maybe 6 years old. Never been touched but valve springs. Ever. How do you beat that? So I understand putting motor builders out of business, but for guys like you that want to continue, I guess they're doing the right thing, right? Because everybody can run the same frame, right? Can you run yours the way it is right now? You must be able to, right?
Yeah, RJ Sturdell ran his took his limited, made it into a late model a number of years ago, kept the 4-link in it, and was he winning races? No, but he was competitive with mid-pack guys. Like the fastest cars lap times in the limited late models last year were mid-pack late model times.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I ran
With
my
602s.
Yeah, my fastest lap time last year was a 21.8.
Both treaded tires?
Yeah.
I didn't know what the late models run for tires.
Yeah, they're same tire. Same tire.
Wow.